What's up, YouTube? So this is interesting. The channel is Will Survives. This guy's talking about just going out in the middle of the woods and building a cabin. You can see there's a cabin already being built, a little wood cabin behind him. But he's talking about his earlier experiences, trying to just find a piece of land where you can dick around and build a cabin. Because I'm pretty sure this isn't his first site. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to go do this. They don't realize that you just can't. Like, you just can't. You have to find land that's zoned, where nobody's going to care that you're doing that. And unfortunately, people care. Let's hear what he has to say about his experience.
Doing more research, exploring a ton, trying to find a spot that I could leave all my tools so I didn't have to pack in my tools.
Yeah, because he was saying his first attempt, he was a little too close to the city folks, I guess, and somebody stole his tools. So then he started going out looking for different places where he could build.
Every day, pack in and pack out. I wanted to be able to go out into the woods and build things. And eventually I found that spot where that first cabin's at. I don't know if you guys know about the first cabin. I built a cabin in the woods with hand tools on land that was not mine. I thought it was owned by the railroad that it was kind of near.
See, that's what stops me right there, is putting in all that hard work, building up a cabin or something, and then somebody comes out there and goes, yeah, this property belongs to so-and-so or something, or you have a lawsuit against you now, you need to tear all this shit down, where's your permits?
But the reason I was confident putting up a structure that permanent was because it was obvious to me that no one had been on that land for like 50 years at least. The whole time I was there, I never had any human encounters. I would actually probably never got caught if I wasn't posting on social media. I did find a good spot where I built the cabin. But by the time my lease ended with my buddies, one of my buddies moved in with his girlfriend. My other buddy moved back in with his mom. He was like 50-50 with his mom and his girlfriend. And then my other buddy, he moved in with his dad. But I had the cabin almost ready. And so the lease ended and I literally moved all of my stuff into the woods and started sleeping in the woods every single night.
Ooh.
The night after my lease ended. It was the hardest.
That is rough, man. But you know what? You're gonna learn a lot from that. Earlier in this video, he shows off some of the protection that he has against bears and mountain lions. There was a mountain lion that ate his basketball. That would be concerning to me because that means there's a mountain lion coming up to your camp looking for entertainment. It already chewed up a basketball. So, that mountain lion could get bored. It just comes start stalking your property, and a mountain lion can get up to you before you can get to a chainsaw. So, I mean, it's one thing if you're literally walking around with chainsaw in hand, and you better be able to start that bitch before a mountain lion grabs you. I did leave a comment for Homeboy talking about we need to get him a shotgun. Because I can tell you guys right now, out in Siberia, where I'm from, you can't even drop your AK on the ground to take a piss. Like, you don't do that. You go take a piss with your AK in hand. Because a bear could literally just pop his head right out of a bush, and he's only 15 feet away from you while you're taking a piss, and then you're dead before you'll ever get to your AK rifle. So, out where I'm from in Siberia, you can't even piss without an AK, right? Like, in your hands, you better be ready to shoot a mountain lion or a bear while you still got your pecker out and you're pissing on a tree. It's that serious, especially with mountain lions. They will actually stalk you. You won't know it's there till it's right on you. So I did leave him a comment, asking what's going on with all that, because the chainsaw out there, man, that might keep a curious young bear away, but a mountain lion might look at your chainsaw and just say, challenge accepted. That looks fun.
Move of all time because I had so much stuff and the path in was so difficult. especially at the beginning, but I got all my stuff, moved out to the woods, and I was living in the woods, still going to work.
First of all, a lot of props to you for that. Most people don't even have the balls to do that. Like, they could never even do that. Just, hey, I got a cabin out there, I'll start moving my stuff out there to the woods. That alone is just way too scary for most people. So props to you, Will. You will survive.
Waking up real early is pitch black every morning.
Yep.
Going to work. Eventually, some of my followers, or I know actually the guy who turned me in, he messaged me on Instagram and he apologized or whatever.
What a dickwad. Bro. He turned you in and then messaged you. I mean, that to me sounds like a dick move. Turn your ass in and then message you about it. That is fucked up. I wouldn't be so nice to that guy.
Nerd. He wasn't liking what I was doing and turned me into the local police. They found my page, my social medias, and they ended up tracking me down. I was actually going out there with a buddy to get drone.
Man, how pathetic is that? Like, how pathetic is that loser's life? Where he has to find something good that somebody's doing like this, and then he has to turn this guy in and send him a message on it. Whoever that guy is, he's a piece of trash. Like, you wish you could be doing some of this stuff, and when you see other people doing it, it makes you jealous of your shitty life. Man, that boils me the wrong way. Sorry, Will, that blows, dude.
Footage, and we saw the state trooper and the forest ranger cars parked in the parking spot. That was one of the scariest moments of my life. We put the drone up in the air. We drove down the road a little bit, the drone up in the air and over the cabin, and sure enough, they did find it pretty quick. Yeah, so then I was caught. It was federal property. It was owned by the Army Corps of Engineers. It was pretty tough. I was expecting, like, if they found me, damn, I'm going to jail and probably some big fines. And I actually was mentally prepared for prison at a certain point. Because at that point in my life, I really was just trying to grow my mindset. It's pretty much still the same mindset I got right now. I just want to do it in a more positive way. I was ready to go to prison for a bit for what I did. I was just hiding out at work for about 3 days. On like the third or fourth day, the state trooper, he knocked on my parents' door, went to my parents' house, and my dad opened the door, and state trooper told him the situation, that whatever. I don't even really know what they talked about. But I got a call from my dad saying state trooper just came knocking on the door and
Stay away from the property.
He's about to call you. I suggest you answer. Because he actually knew. I was telling him my plan was to like flee to Mexico. He said that I
Oh, bro, flee to Mexico over that. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Man, look, real talk. I don't know what ended up happening over this, but I would guess it'd be some civil thing and, like, you might get some probation or something, but let's see.
should probably answer. I did answer. The state trooper called me before I could even get off the phone with my dad. He was like, we don't want to take you to jail, but I'm hoping that we can set up a meeting so we can talk. I knew I was going to get fined and whatever, but I wasn't going to jail. And honestly, it was too late. I didn't actually have a passport. And I just decided to deal with the consequences. So I met the state trooper and the Army Corps of Engineers. Just was as respectful as I could be. Super respectful. I was ready to clean up the cabin.
I'm surprised the Army Corps of Engineers didn't come out there and actually help you build a fucking cabin. We're going to show you how it's really done. Oh, that would be effing hilarious. And you know what? That wouldn't be bad training for the Army Corps of Engineers. They ought to know how to build stuff in the woods. But I'm sure that's not how this played out. He did say something about a passport, so...
Completely. Make it look like I was never there. I was telling them that. Guys, I don't know. It really helps in life just to be really positive and respectful. Like I could tell they were a little weirded out They thought,
Yes, of course. Especially when you're dealing with a state trooper and the Army Corps of Engineers, you better show some goddamn respect. That's what those people live off of. And if you respect them, they will hopefully treat you fairly. Right? The closest thing to respect you're going to get back is some fair treatment.
they didn't know who I was. They thought I was maybe like some crackhead or something.
Some Unabomber?
I showed up with a smile on my face.
They thought he was some Unabomber kook out in the middle of the woods. You know what? I bet you that's what they thought. As soon as like the Army Corps engineers got involved, and they were like, we need to make sure this isn't a Bundy out here making bombs out in the middle of the woods and shit. So I guarantee you they went and looked through all your shit just to make sure that there was nothing nutty going on. Oh, that is wild. Oh, you got the wind knocking stuff over.
Face, shook their hands like I put my hand out first. They didn't know what's up, but I was just a super respectful, nice kid to them, telling them I'm sorry and that I would be more than willing to clean it up so they wouldn't have to. I ended up going to federal court, was charged with damaging federal property and putting a permanent structure up on federal property. The fine ended up only being $300. I had to clean up the cabin. They gave me a list of things. It was actually a little BS. It would have been pretty easy if I filled that hole with logs and covered it. It would have been a cool habitat for wildlife, honestly, but they made me put it back to exactly how it was. I had to disperse. I took probably 400 nails out of wood, dispersed all the logs within a...
Oh, that sucks though. Imagine that. Imagine like taking the time to build like a little cabin and making progress and like everything's, good, and then you got to strip every nail out of every log and collect all the nails, and then you have to carry those logs and throw them around the woods now. Man, that might have taken just as long to do all that. That's wild. Oh.
Quarter-mile radius. Had to return all the rocks to where I got them from and move all the dirt back. I dug a big hole and I had to move all the...
By the way, the reason I've been watching these videos, this is what my grandpa did out in the woods of Siberia. He built all sorts of stuff. So I remember when I was a little kid, I helped him build a sauna on the back of our property in Siberia. And it was really cool. We had like a fully working sauna in the wintertime. You could go out there, it would heat rocks up for you, it'd be nice and warm. And then you could step out of the sauna and you could take a dip in a barrel of slush water. Yeah, they actually, in Russia and Siberia, they have like this polar bear swim thing where everybody like dips into an almost frozen lake. There's another tradition they have where if you have giant barrels of water on your farm or whatever, when the temperature gets to a certain degree, like the very first night that you have like cold frost, you wake up in the morning, it's cold, like, it's really cold, and the water in the barrel literally starts turning into slush. So it's not water anymore. Damn, it's dry out here. Get a sip of this coffee. So yeah, it's not just water anymore. It's literally turning into a slushy. Like the bottom of the barrel is already starting to freeze. And we would dip into that. And I remember I was a brave little kid. I talked all this shit about I'm going to jump in the barrel in the morning. And came morning time and I walked out there in my little whitey tighties. And I remember like Grandma and Grandpa were with me. I actually tried dipping my foot into it and changing my mind, and Grandma just grabbed me and threw me into this barrel of slush and was like, no, you talk shit about this for 2 days, you're doing it. They probably woke up at 6 in the morning just to get me in that barrel of slush. Yeah, fond memories of Siberia. So that's what got me watching these videos about people like building cabins and stuff like that, because I was like, oh yeah, that's what Gramps was doing. Anyway.
Dirt back and have it be level with the forest floor. They gave me They gave me a month to do that or something, maybe 2 months, I forget. But I got it done. I'm also
You've done it in a
banned
week.
from all Army Corps of Engineer property in Oregon for 2 years, so that's like every single lake. That was it. That was it for that cabin. I was done.
That was
But
it
at
for
that
Oregon.
point, I had like 500,000
At that point, I had to hightail my ass to Michigan.
followers on TikTok. My account got banned and deleted in the same week that I got caught.
Well, you had 500,000 subscribers and supporters, and one jealous asshole that turned you in. I would be doxing the shit out of that fool. You need to put his name up. You need to tell us who this loser is that has such a sad and pathetic life that he would care about some kid building a log cabin out in the middle of nowhere. Who would this butthurt loser be, and why would he be so butthurt? I mean, he actually reached out and told you, hey, I'm the asshole that complained about you because I don't have an effing life, and what you're doing somehow hurts me. Or it doesn't even hurt him. He just wanted the drama. He just wanted to know I called the cops on this dude, and I'm ruining his fun time. What a piece of crap.
At the cabin. But at that point, I had already decided that what I wanted to do with life, and so I never gave up.
Hey, you're back to 50K subs already on YouTube. Let's go. Oh, there we go. I added to that subscription count. Go, Will, go.
Started a new TikTok page. Showed me cleaning up the cabin a little bit. Wasn't gaining that much traction. I was gonna do a road trip around the country, doing different bushcraft stuff and fishing and stuff. But a couple weeks before I was about to leave, I got a message on TikTok and was offered land to build on.
Look at that.
That's where we're at now.
How awesome is that? That worked out. Yeah, I mean, there are people in this world that have a back 40 that don't mind having a back 39. There's people that have so much property that are like, hey, you know, I see that you're actually doing something good and constructive, and screw this guy for turning you in. He's a piece of shit. How about this, bro? I'll give you an acre on my family's plot back here. I have 500 acres or something, and you can have this 1 acre. That's awesome. Shout out to those people. Props to those people. Maybe those people want to sell me an acre too. But man, talk about a happy ending to a story. That's awesome. And now, because I'm watching this, and he's telling us about, you know, all the problems he had with doing this. And I'm just like, bro, are you being safe now? Like, please don't tell me that you're going to have to tear all this down. No, that's cool. So this is land that he was given permission to build on.
Talking to the guy, Lucky Thrives, for about a week and sent it. I came down here about 3 weeks ago.
Awesome.
Built a cabin in the woods and survived through a pretty rough winter. It's going to be really tough up here in the winter. Yeah, that's the story with the feds and the last cabin and my backstory.
Will, you will survive. You will survive. I see enough of a structure back there to think that you will get this done in time and you will survive. Obviously, there's other people out there. I'm sure you could get some help, but I think he's doing pretty damn good. You got to get all that digging done before the ground freezes, right? And you got to get a lot of the cabin in place. You want to be able to keep a bear out. Man, if you have a half-built cabin and a bear wanders in there and just says, this is my new cave now. I've heard of horror stories of people leaving their territory in Alaska to go into town to get surgery, to get like dental work done. And when they finally get healed and they get their supplies and they're going back up to their property, they find that a bear has taken up residency in their little cabin or something. And then they have to like shotgun their way in there and scare the shit out of the bear, or I don't even know what you do at that point. But it was on one of the Alaska shows that like when the woman left her territory to go to the hospital and to get like some kind of quick medical procedure, she came back and had an actual bear to deal with. I would be more concerned about the mountain lions. I really would. You can scare a bear You can scare a bear quicker than you can scare a mountain lion, and with the mountain lions, a lot of times you won't even see that it's there until it's already running at you. And I just watched a video of a dude who had to pull out a pistol and unload because this mountain lion was like running right at him. And that guy in that clip, if he didn't have that pistol, he'd be dead right now. Straight up. So having a chainsaw to defend against something like that, bro, the mountain lion is going to be on you before you even pull the chainsaw out and start it. Like, you need a shotgun out there. Something that hopefully is magazine fed that holds 5 rounds. And you better have an extra magazine, just IMO. Well, let's see what Will says.
A little bit. Let me know if you guys want to know anything else, but I thought I'd just share that. For the people that weren't following the journey the whole way, now you're a little more up to date. Let me read some of the other comments real quick.
We're all caught up.
I absolutely should get a dog out.
Yeah, you should get a dog out there, a Doberman or something, so it could run off into the woods and you'd have to spend half the day chasing that bastard down just to find out that a mountain lion ate him. You should get a trained dog out there. Will Survives. If you want to see more stuff like this guy's pretty cool. He's got a good vibe. He seems to be legit, and he's doing the damn thing out there building cabins. If you guys want to support him, here's his channel, Will Survives. Go sub to his channel. I sure did. I thought this was pretty interesting. His story, his struggle, just to go out there and, you know, build his log cabin on a piece of property. Yo, the struggle is real. Army Corps of Engineers stepped in. So yeah, go show Will some love. Will Survives. He's got a cold winter to make it through. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm wearing a poncho right now. It's like chilly in my garage, and I'm like, whoa. Homeboy here still has logs to put up for his cabin, right? And then you got to waterproof that thing. You got to make some kind of membrane so everything's not getting soaked, and you want to do all of that before all the snow drops. So show Will some support. And Will Survives is the channel. Check him out. Anyway, later, YouTube.